We're Paul and Shannon, and these are our dogs, Jackson and Doug. We've been living out of our 19-foot Airstream travel trailer and spending as much time as we can hiking and exploring outdoors. But this week, we're taking a break from RV life and moving onto a llama farm on a beautiful property in Wyoming. Come along as we explore the area and spend the week taking it a bit slower than we're used to. If you liked the video, we'd be so appreciative if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed. Hope you enjoy! We're spending the next 9 nights in a small town called Boulder, Wyoming. It is outside of the Wind River Range, which is a very remote, vast wilderness mountain range. Lots of people come out here to go backpacking. We actually just met a family in the parking lot that's headed out for a 14-day backpacking trip. We're not going to be doing that this time around. Today we're just headed out for a short day hike. We've been staying in our 19-foot Airstream at campgrounds for almost the past month or so. We're staying in an Airbnb for the next 9 nights, so it's nice to have a little bit more space. So the hike that we're doing today is called the Sacred Rim Trail. It's about 3.5–4 miles with about 500 feet of climbing. So definitely an easy trail to start off our week here. The mosquitoes are pretty intense on this trail. We looked at reviews of this trail before we came and everyone talked about packing bug spray, which we did. It seems to be keeping them from biting us, but they kind of just swarm all over you. We just ordered a dog safe bug spray, so we have something to put on the dogs. It's a bug spray we've used before. I think it's from a brand called Wonderside. We don't have it yet, unfortunately, but I think because Doug stays so close to us and we're covered in bug spray, it kind of keeps them away from him. And Jackson moves a little too fast for the mosquitoes to bother him. What in the world? Well, we're up here at Sacred Rim. It's honestly hard to even comprehend what you're looking at. And there's nobody up here. It's just us. We pretty much avoid using bug spray when possible. It's like given us headaches in the past and just made us feel not too good, but there are definitely occasions where you just don't care and the mosquitoes and bugs are just so bad that we have to just put up with it and use it. We're pretty much coated in a layer of bug spray right now. I don't know how they're not bothering the dogs, but thankfully they don't seem to be. We'll just have to take a shower when we get home.
What do you always say about the mosquitoes?
The mosquitoes?
What do you always say about them? What's the point?
Oh yeah, what's the point of mosquitoes?
To feed the bats.
Oh, there's a lot of bat food. We're back here at the car. That has to be one of the shortest hikes to the best payoffs you can possibly get. That view is absolutely insane up there. So I'm definitely happy we came here, and I'm glad we got here early too, because it was a little bit busy when we were coming back down with people going up to the viewpoint, and we had it all to ourselves. We're gonna head back to our Airbnb, and our Airbnb is pretty neat. I'm excited to show you. This Airbnb we're staying in is probably one of our favorites yet, and the family that lives here and owns this property used to operate a working llama ranch, and she still has a bunch of llamas on the property. They are probably the funniest animals I've ever seen. When we first pulled up, they all scramble over, and the ones that have the long fur or wool, I guess, it's going like this on their legs and swooshing back and forth. Kind of looks like Doug, our golden retriever. Then they run over and they don't want to be pet, but they just give you like really intense eye contact the whole time. And they're so cute and they just like sprint across the field. We can stand here and we have these really nice big windows, and all of the llamas are outside in the yard, and we have beautiful sunrises and sunsets. It's a very, very pretty and serene and peaceful property. We're excited to be here for over a week, taking a little bit of a break from the Airstream, and we definitely miss it. We were worried when we were spending so much time in the Airstream this summer whether it was going to feel too small and we were like really going to want to get out of it, but we haven't felt that. We definitely miss being in it, but I do also like being in this Airbnb just because it is so peaceful and nice and spacious and clean. We've had our dinner, just have been relaxing, getting some work done after our hike today, and we're probably gonna watch some TV and head to bed. It's another beautiful morning here in Wyoming. Every morning we're woken up by these beautiful sunrises on the front windows, and every evening we're able to watch the sunrise or the sunset on the back windows. It has been so peaceful being here. Paul keeps saying this is probably the quietest place we've ever stayed, and you can hardly hear a road in the distance. It's just been so peaceful and nice to spend some time here. So this morning we're just enjoying the sunrise, having some coffee, and I even have a llama boxing mug. I think the llama is boxing the dogs.
No.
And knocking the dogs out.
That's a coyote.
That's a coyote.
It's protecting the sheep. The llama is protecting the sheep.
Are those sheep or dogs?
Those are sheep.
Sheep, llama, coyote. So having some coffee, and our Airbnb host has John Muir's Wilderness Essays book here. So I've been reading a couple of those. And yeah, just having nice slow mornings here. So today will be a pretty typical day to start. We have to get some work done. But this afternoon, there's a little museum in the town of Pinedale. So I think we might stop there, maybe go see a lake that's nearby with the dogs, and maybe check out a couple more small shops in town.
You forgot the most important part.
What's that?
Then we're gonna make dinner together tonight.
Are we gonna make dinner together tonight?
Yeah.
What are we gonna make?
I don't know. We haven't decided yet. You
Maybe-
said something with pasta.
Maybe a pasta recipe. That sounds good. Have to take advantage of having an actual kitchen while we're out of the Airstream.
That's right. Not stacked on top of each other. This is Doug wanting attention, but really wanting his breakfast. Are you hungry? You're a good boy.
Douglas, do you want to go for a walkie? Jackson, do I want to go for a walkie? So we're gonna head out about 30 minutes away from Boulder, Wyoming, where we're staying, to a lake called Boulder Lake. But first we had to come see our buddies, all the llamas out in the yard. They're definitely very curious, and they make a lot of eye contact, but they don't really want, oh, see, there he goes. They don't want you to pet them or to get too close, but yeah, they come over, just stare at you a little bit, make lots and lots of eye contact, and yeah, they're super cool. We have really enjoyed being able to watch them and just observe the way they act. One of the best things about being on the road the past couple of years are all of these very unique experiences we've gotten to have. I never imagined that we'd be staying on a llama farm. Such a unique and really incredible experience. So when we first got to this Airbnb, we kept calling them alpacas, and then we asked the owner and she said they're all llamas. And I guess one of the biggest ways to tell the difference, I looked online, is llamas can be up to 400 pounds, whereas alpacas are only up to 150 pounds typically. So these are all llamas, pretty big guys. I don't know if they're quite 400 pounds. It's hard to tell. Maybe they are, but yeah, bigger than alpacas would be. So surprisingly enough, there was a dirt road that literally took us right down to the water. So we're here at Boulder Lake and it's very secluded here. We passed one person camping, saw a couple of other people driving, but other than that, it is very quiet here. So it is very beautiful here, but there's also lots of fresh cow poop on the beach. When we were driving in, there was a full beach just filled with probably 100 cows. Before heading back home, we saw there's a trailhead down the road just a little bit towards the end of the lake. It was about 5-10 minutes away. So we drove down to the end of the lake to come check out what was back here. And it looks like this trailhead takes you way deep into the wilderness. So obviously we're not doing that today. I just wanted to come check out the trail for a couple minutes. But there's some really beautiful aspens around here, which is a pretty different landscape than driving in. It was, you know, real dry, deserty looking. Not much greenery at all, but it's really pretty back here. What a pretty trail.
So pretty.
Yeah. I'm glad we came back here.
Me too. And we're in peak season and there's nobody here.
I know. We passed a campground back there and it looked completely empty.
There's just nobody in Wyoming.
And I'll take this over cow poop covered beach.
Yeah, probably.
You do have to be on alert here though, because I think if bears are anywhere, they're here. Well, that was much more beautiful than we expected. I'm super happy we came out here. Now we're gonna head back home, and there's a little tiny museum in town. I think it's little tiny, at least. It's called Museum of the Mountain Man that we're going to try to make it to, but it's about 3:15 right now. The museum closes at 5 and we have about 25 minutes to get home. So we'll be a little rushed. I don't think we need too much time at the museum, but we're gonna see if we can make it at home in time to drop the dogs off, get into town, go check out the museum. So after that, we're gonna pick up some groceries, head back home, and make a nice little at-home date night dinner. We did end up making it to the Museum of the Mountain Man. It was a super cool museum, especially for a small town like Pinedale. They had a ton of information, artifacts, and it was all about the mountain men who went out in the 1800s to do fur trading. They would hunt mostly beavers, and then they would bring them back to towns, and they would bring them to the rendezvous point, it was called, and that was basically just the meeting place where they would do all of their trading, and I think kind of have like some parties and celebrate and talk about their stories and whatnot. Then we went to a couple of shops. We went to a store called the Cowboy Shop in town, and we also stopped at the gear store because we're getting ready to do an 18-mile day hike this weekend into the Wind River Range. We are super excited. So Paul needed to get a water bladder to put in his backpack, and we also wanted to pick their brain about the hike, and they were super helpful, super nice, giving us some tips for the trail, and we got some things like gel packs and protein bars and whatnot. So now we're at the grocery store picking up our ingredients to make our at-home dinner date night. We've decided we're going to make vodka pasta, but we're not buying all the ingredients to make the vodka sauce because moving back into the Airstream soon, we don't want to have a bunch of leftovers that we need to fit in the fridge. So we're just going to buy a good vodka sauce, pasta, maybe some steak, stuff for a side salad, maybe a bottle of wine, and yeah, have a nice night at home.
What do you want? You're right. We made those just for you.
Oh my goodness, I knew it! The day has come.
What do you have there?
Some basil picked fresh from the garden.
The Airstream garden.
The grocery store garden.
It's a pretty significant knife.
That's our steak knife for the night.
Oh boy.
That's what you're chopping the steak with. I think this is the biggest knife in this Airbnb.
Oh boy.
It's sharp though, it works.
Uh-huh, for basil.
For basil. No spoon?
I don't think so.
More cheese?
Yeah. That's good.
Like Olive Garden.
That's right.
Tell me when.
Yummy,
Looks
yummy.
really good.
Yeah, it does.
So it's the next day now, and we're just here making some dinner. And tonight we're just having some huge salads with a bunch of veggies and beans and cheese and all kinds of good stuff, mixed nuts in there. But I wasn't going to record anything today because it was a pretty, just very normal day. We just worked out, took the dogs for a walk. But we went to this park in the town of Pinedale, just this like town type park, not out in the mountains or anything, and came across this big moose with a bull moose with antlers, are they called? I was gonna call them horns, but antlers. So cool, just literally right in town. I guess when you're in Wyoming, that's what happens. So I got a couple cell phone clips, didn't have the GoPro with me, but what a cool experience. It's so neat when we're staying in these towns that we typically probably wouldn't visit otherwise and have an experience like that. So awesome. So we're just gonna eat our dinner, probably relax, maybe get some more work done, and call it a night. We're here at Half Moon Lake, and one of the best parts about this part of Wyoming is that because it's so scarcely populated, you can have these beautiful mountain lakes all to yourself. We were able to drive to the lake, and then we walked on a trail just a little bit and then walked down to the lake, and there's nobody here. We saw one boat go past. It's a huge, beautiful, pristine lake. It's just so nice to have it all to ourselves. It's a beautiful day. It's pretty hot, so we wanted to make sure to get the dogs swimming. The dogs went in, and I actually went in too. You might be able to see my hair's a little wet still. It's probably 85 degrees or so. Very sunny, very warm. Perfect day to be on the water.
Oh my goodness. Did you see that?
I got it on video.
Oh my goodness.
What a cutie. It's currently a little after 5 in the morning on a Saturday. We woke up extra early today because we're headed out for a pretty big adventure. We should be hiking about 18 miles today to a very iconic point in the Wind River mountain range, which is right outside of where we're staying. The trailhead though is about an hour and a half away, so we wanted to make sure to get a really early start. So I'm actually gonna wrap up this video here, start a new video just about this hike. We are super excited. The Wind River Range is why we came out and stayed in this area. So if you're not already, we'd love if you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next one. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks as always for watching, and we'll see you on the next adventure.